The Gebo Rune, the rune of balance and harmony, meaning of the rune. The next rune of the first Aett is the rune Gebo. It is the first irreversible rune of the Futhark. In total, there are 9 irreversible runes in the Futhark, each serving as a key to a specific world. They are called irreversible because no matter how you turn them, whether up or down, they always look the same. They have no upright or reversed positions. All other runes do, but these do not. Remember this firmly, as it is a rule of the Futhark. Rune sets created by ignorant people who are unaware of this rule and sell them to the masses. Disregard this principle, thereby misleading those who begin studying runes and distorting their essence. These runes do not have a reversed position. Neither Gebo, Dagaz, Inguz, Nauthiz, Gera, Isa, Iwaz, nor Hagalaz has a reversed position. Remember this well. If I hear you say reversed Nauthiz, I will expel you. Do you understand? Good, I have warned you. It is simply an insult, because if you say something like this somewhere and they ask where you learned it, and you answer, at the Menshikova school, I will just sprinkle myself with something and stop teaching. These runes do not have a reversed meaning. Remember this. And why do they not have a reversed meaning? It is quite simple, because they inherently hold a double meaning. We can see that each of these runes, particularly Gebo, appears twice on the Yggdrasil tree. Once, it appears as a key to a specific world, and a second time as a connection, like any reversible rune. This indicates that the rune carries a double significance. When you take its power, its vibrations, and your consciousness, aligned with the Gebo rune, perceives the vibrations and information coming from the world of Alfheimr and the world of Niflheimr, the world of Asgard becomes accessible to you. You reveal the key to the world of law. To enter the world of law, to enter Asgard, is only possible if you understand this rune as a conduit and know what it does. You must absorb the information about its function, integrate it harmoniously into your consciousness, and begin to live by that law. What law exactly? What is the most important thing for consciousness? To unlock the control panel, gain the right to power, and receive the title of the best. This is precisely what the Gebo rune will teach us. The world to which it serves as a key is the world of the god, Asgard, the city of the gods. This is where the halls are located, the direct dwelling places of almost all the gods of the Scandinavian pantheon, with very few exceptions. Those who rule the system and give it their thought and meaning are all present in Asgard. Some of them have their own halls. And what is a hall in this case, when translated from mythological language into ordinary terms? It is a personal amount of allocated memory and the right to have one's own individual control programs, not common, collective ones, but personal ones. On the one hand, there are the gods, who have their halls and keep their personal memory there. On the other hand, also in Asgard, in a place called Valhalla, Odin gathered all the most outstanding personalities of that era and culture, to which his Scandinavian magic and pantheon extended. These people were warriors, and it was extremely important to them that a warrior should die with a weapon in hand. This was a metaphor, of course, but our ancient ancestors undoubtedly took everything literally. We will not emulate them. We will recognize that this was merely a metaphor. However, when taken literally, they sometimes carried this rule to the point of absurdity without truly understanding its meaning. Odin said that a warrior who died with a weapon in his hand would go to Valhalla. But this rule was often understood in a completely absurd way. A person could live their life wrongly, as the Emperor Constantine did, entirely outside the canon, and yet, at the moment of death, reach for their sword and die holding it. When Odin established this rule, he probably assumed that warriors tended to die young. But instead, old men on the verge of death did not reach for a cross or call for a priest. They called out to their grandchildren, "Give me a weapon." And rather than running for a priest like righteous Christians, the grandchildren took their grandfather's rusty sword from the wall and placed it in his hands, so that his last breath would be taken with the blade, not the cross. It reached complete absurdity. This was undoubtedly a metaphor. To die as a warrior means to follow the rules and traditions of one's warrior caste to the end of one's life, never breaking them. Only in this way could one's life program be judged effective by this pantheon, the Scandinavian pantheon, and thus gain access to the proto-foundation good, where the most effective methods of achieving results are stored. And in the magical canon, it is written that the god who embedded the greatest number of result-achieving algorithms, rules, traditions, methods, and means into this proto-foundation begins to perform the function of the proto-foundation order, that is, takes the main throne, the highest pedestal. He becomes the supreme god of the entire pantheon. Accordingly, if one has produced the greatest number of effects through their life's activity, their methods of achieving these effects are right. That is, good, correct, reliable, and universal for everyone. And anyone in future generations who uses these methods to solve similar tasks will inevitably achieve results and will undoubtedly be right, thus strengthening their own power and that of their own god. In this case, to die as a warrior means to live your entire life according to the warrior canon, to always remain a warrior. To die with a weapon in hand means to never forget who you are, even at the moment of death. Nothing more. There is no need to reach for a sword, no need to take everything literally. It is only a metaphor. Every myth is always a metaphor, always an allegory of some kind. The rune Gebo, located here between the world of Niflheimr and the world of Alfheimr, embodies precisely this. We already know the world of Niflheimr. It stores the most crucial elements, certain constants of great importance. These constants must never be violated. The rune Thurisaz manifested them, while the rune Gebo helps embed the result of your work, done in the name of your highest value, into the world of Alfheimr. And so Wilo, the rune of victory, which we will study in the next session at the end of the second Aett, is the very symbol of victory that states, this person is victorious. Everything he has done in his life, all his achievements, is a victory, and therefore he has the right. The right appears only when the result you have achieved is dedicated to your highest value, when the goal you set for yourself is dedicated to your value. This is how Constantine described his story. Everything is good when I help people. And that is your highest value, to help people. The goal you set must be to help others. But if the goal suddenly shifts to, what about me? What do I get for myself? Then that is a violation of your highest value. That means your weapon has fallen from your hands and you are no longer a warrior, you are a merchant. Because only a merchant undertakes any activity for himself, whereas a warrior does it for others. This is why the rune Kanaz was so important, as it shows for whom your activity is meant. And the rune Gebo aligns that very constant, that very manifested core value with your actions and deeds, with the results you achieve. The world of Alfheimr corresponds to the proto-foundation good. The world of Alfheimr, which we will study later, corresponds to the proto-foundation evil. These are two diametrically opposed structures. The world of Alfheimr is described in myth as the world of the light elves. In different myths, cultures and legends, they are referred to as minor deities or spirits. These are the spirits of places, the spirits of a kin, or noumena, for example. These deities are, to a greater extent, concerned with people's well-being. In this respect, our understanding of Alfheimr and Svartalfheimr is better revealed not through the Scandinavian tradition, but through the Celtic tradition, which describes the ancient gods of the Celts. They were called She and were divided into two groups. The Celts named these two groups the Seelie Court and the Unseelie Court. The Seelie Court consisted of deities who were benevolent to people, while the Unseelie Court, conversely, comprised those who were harmful. In this case, this analogy, this manifestation, this description is quite appropriate. Alfheimr is the Seelie Court. They take care of humans because humans, through their actions, embed algorithms for achieving results in their world. Scandinavian sagas tell us that all the Alfar who live in this world are servants of the gods, and the world itself was given as a teething gift to the god Freya, meaning that it belongs to the world of nature. This means that victory options and victory algorithms can only be considered truly victorious and right if your actions are in absolute alignment with the world of nature. This is why the rune Kenaz was so important. Turning a river backwards can certainly be impressive, but nature may be against it. And I don't even want to tell you what kind of curse it will place on a person who reverses its course. Such a person is doomed, and his bloodline will be cursed down to the 40th generation, if it even lasts that long, of course. This is why the worlds of Alfheimr and Niflheimr represent the alignment of the highest value, the constant, with right behavior, the right attitude, right actions, and right results. When this is aligned in your consciousness, when you grasp these algorithms, and they are in absolute harmony with you, and you begin to live by them, then you are guaranteed victory and therefore rights. And if you live according to these canons, these laws, then access to Asgard is fully open to you. And what is the world of Asgard? It is the world of law. This is where all the most important canons concerning your destiny are written, along with all the programs of all destinies, which are also altered and fixed there. Essentially, it is the Book of Fates. Everything that has been fixed by the rune Gebo is the ultimate truth and the ultimate law. This concerns you personally. However, we can see that the rune Gebo has the same interesting characteristic as the rune Kenaz. It does not manifest along the I am axis, which means that it is only conditionally related to your soul. It will help you achieve these victory algorithms. This is why the classical meaning of the Gebo rune is gift and partnership. Gift and partnership. Its configuration when spinning is very similar to that of the spinning Kenaz rune. The Gebo rune looks like two Kenaz runes, simply turned in different directions. Thus, it shows that your life activity will be successful and right in the eyes of the law, only if it is harmonized with the surrounding world. Kenaz specifically pointed out where you need to carry out your activity, and Gebo will align your activity with the rest of the world in the direction that Gebo has indicated. Because the world consists not only of your rido, not just your path, but of a vast number of paths, sometimes intersecting, sometimes diverging, overlapping, and so on. These are all life processes, and Gebo will help you integrate your own process your own destiny, into the overall fabric of reality, without contradiction, and above all, in accordance with the law, so that no egregore, no structure, no system created by humans or non-humans has the right to interfere with this process. That is, the book of fates in which your altered destiny correction is written will be under immense protection. And, most importantly, all the writing there will be done by right, not by hacking, not by secret means, but by right and by law, which is very important. Gebo aligns your state, your manifestation, between you and the outside world. Everything that surrounds you, Kenaz has shown you your sphere of interest, revealing what is most important and what is not. This is your main interest, and this is not. This is where you will invest your time, and this is where you should not. But that does not mean that if we do not invest time in some phenomenon, it will cease to exist in our lives, does it? It will still remain, and we will still need something from it. Gebo will allow us to establish an adequate energy exchange with these phenomena, both necessary and unnecessary. By law and by right, no egregorial system will have the right to take more of your time than is due according to your internal agreement. Conversely, your freed-up time should be directed where your Kenaz points. So the Gebo rune is the multifaceted one. It interlocks all four of the last runes, Thurisaz, which predetermined your knowledge. There is law, and there is the main principle. If you realize the main principle, the law will follow. Ansuz, which allows you to take the memory in accordance with this main principle. Raito, which allows you to make your own path, your own mark in this world. And Kenaz, which enables you to align that mark with the surrounding nature. All four channels, all four runes now gather into a single bundle within the Gebo rune. That is why it is so balanced, absolutely balanced. No matter which way you turn it, it will always remain in equilibrium. Gebo is the rune of law, the most fundamental law of all worlds, the law of equilibrium. If this law is followed, everything will be as it should be. If not, there will be Ragnarok, the battle of the gods, and their downfall. The one who possesses the Gebo rune holds the key to his own destiny. The perfectly balanced Gebo rune, the first irreversible rune, instills a state of equilibrium in consciousness and a harmonious movement through life. Two vortices enter you, and two vortices come out of you. Your awareness of yourself in this world, and the projection of that awareness onto the surrounding reality. Everything must be in absolute balance and harmony. The fact that Gebo comes together at the level of Anahata, at the level of the mental body, means that this rune can only be understood through comprehension, that is, through reason and intellect. What must be understood in this rune? Everything is written here. You need to grasp the right algorithms of behavior based on your core values and your main principle. And what is considered right varies for each individual. When you carved this rune, some did it lengthwise, others across. Some drew a point in the center and worked from it. Some drew lines, others a square. You acted according to what you deemed right for yourself. And in life, you act in the same way. The algorithms of behavior depend on the true value that you hold. It, and only it, determines what is right for you. The surrounding world undoubtedly has its own sense of right. Within the framework of this rune, it is crucial to act correctly, as dictated by your axis I am, in alignment with your constant principle, while simultaneously avoiding unnecessary, excessive distortions, disturbances, or imbalances in the surrounding world. This is called an adequate energy exchange, when everything works out for you and the people around you do not suffer any infringement of their rights due to your actions. All these runes we have studied, including Gebo, are your power by right. You must know them. Knowledge of the law of equilibrium is that very spark of the gods, their kiss, given to you as an inheritance, for they knew this law perfectly. Those who violated this law left the playing field. So, maintain balance with the surrounding world and maintain balance within yourself. You must not diminish either your own vortex rotation or the external world, neither at the expense of others, nor by allowing others to exploit you. Learn to find a sufficient compromise, depending, of course, on whom you are dealing with. That is, do not allow yourself to be diminished by those below you, nor diminish those above you. This is important.